Hello, everybody. Hello. Good morning. Or is it good afternoon? It's good afternoon. And welcome to the Witty Writer Show. I'm so excited about today's show because I've got two guests. I've got the fabulous Josephine Wrightson, who writes dark fantasy, paranormal, and spicy books. Hello, darling. And I've also got a special guest, and that's Bonita Gutierrez. Hello, darling.
Hi.
Who's an actor and an author. She wears two different hats.
Mostly author.
Thank you for coming on today, darling.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Oh, I'm so thrilled. I'm so thrilled. We've already got people popping on, which is absolutely fantastic. So we will say hello to everybody in a minute. Bonita, now you write very gritty fantasy novels. Werewolves and all that type of thing, all the stuff that Josephine and I absolutely love. So we've been super excited to have you on. I want to say a huge thank you because you were part of giveaways and stuff over Christmas and everything, which was much appreciated.
Oh, it was so great. It was so much fun.
And today, Bonita's doing another giveaway for us, especially for the Witty Writer Show. Look at that. I'm so excited. So excited. So you're giving away 3 paperback copies of your book to people in the US.
Yes.
And 10 ebooks to anybody who's out of the US. Now, just to let everybody know, if you want a chance to win one of Bonita's fantastic books, ebook or paperback, all you have to do is share today's show at the end on any of the social media platforms that Bonita's on, and she's everywhere. I mean everywhere. Just share the video of today's show, tag her, and you will get your entry in. So the more shares, the more entries. Now, tell us a bit about the book that you're giving away today.
It's called The Werewolf Whisper. I co-author it with urban fantasy writer Camilla Oakland, and so we write this series together. It is about a mysterious werewolf virus is unleashed on Los Angeles, and it turns an inordinate amount of people into werewolf-like creatures. So there's 3 categories. There's werebeasts, ferals, and hounds. And so there's one woman, and her name is Lucy Lowell. She's an ex-cop with a prison record who can control them. And her best friend, Xochitl Magana, is an ex-cantina owner. And together, they try and save the world. Now, whether or not they're successful, you have to read.
What a fantastic concept, though. And I love the fact that you've got the different degrees of turning.
They differ. So not every. It's a viral kind of pandemic sort of thing that locks down California, and we actually wrote this back in 2012. So it's came to fruition pretty badly. But so Lucy and Xochitl spend the first 2 years of this pandemic riding up and down California, helping the afflicted, and sometimes hunting and putting down werebeasts. So we pick up 2 years after that initial outbreak, and it has dual timelines. So you see they're coming together in the past, and you see where they're at and how it all kind of blends together in the future. And we're on our 3rd novel. We just released the 3rd novel in 2020. We have 7 books altogether. There's 4 novellas. We just released the 4th novella in 2022 called Beast of the Dead, and that's a bridge to book 4. So we've kind of the world has changed. By the end of book 3, the world changes even more, and the 4th novella kind of bridges it into what we're writing right now, which is called Tooth and Claw, and that's so it's exciting. We're in, so this is book 1. So if you want to jump on the werewolf train, now is the time to do it.
Well, I know we do have a lot of viewers on the Witty Writer Show who love that sort of thing, including myself. So fantastic. So as I said, don't forget, if you want a chance to win either a paperback or an ebook, all you have to do is share today's show everywhere and tag Bonita, and you'll get your chance. More shares, more entries. Now we've loads of people who have joined us. So I'm just going to pop up some of our viewers to say hello. We've got the fabulous Sarah Louisa. She says hello, ladies. We've also got the wonderful JR Byers. She says hi, ladies. Hello, darling. We've also got the fabulous Heather Skinner. She says hello, everyone, from Gemma and I. And just so everybody knows, especially our new viewers, because we get new viewers every week, which is lovely. Gemma actually has a online Facebook book group, which is absolutely fantastic. So everybody go and check that out. We've also got the wonderful Darlene. She says, hello, everybody. She's another wonderful author. We've also got fabulous Kim. She says, hi, y'all. She must be from the South. I love that. It never gets old. I love it. We've also got the wonderful Laura. She says, hello, lovelies. And I want to say a special thank you to Laura because she recently read my new novel, which she loved, thank God. Honestly, she's so honest. I love her to bits. She's one of my favorite people. We've also got the wonderful Lynn. Hello, Lynn. Thank you for joining us. And
Texas.
Oh, there we go. Look, yes, from Texas. Yeehaw.
That's why my brother lives in Texas.
All my exes live in Texas.
Huh?
I said all my exes live in Texas. They don't.
They should.
Laura's having a bit of a giggle. Now, I've got to apologise for my pink nose, just to let everybody know, because my heating decided to die last night, and we woke up this morning to 53 degrees in the house. I was freezing my bits off. And because I've got an electric blanket, which I love because I hate getting in a cold bed, I didn't even feel it until I got out of bed, and I thought, oh, this is a bit chilly. So if you do hear any banging or noises, I'm sorry. I have an engineer trying to deal with it right now and fix it. Right, today's show is going to be hopefully about 3 things. I'm hoping to cover ebooks and paperbacks and how much we should be charging for them. I also would like to try and cover categories because that is a big one for authors. Very big across the board. Doesn't matter which author you are or what genre. And we're going to touch on, hopefully, if we've got time, Amazon A+ content, which Josephine's a bit of a pro at, to be honest.
I've never used it. So.
It's brilliant. It makes the page so pretty.
So to start off with, I want to talk about ebooks, paperbacks, hardbacks, and what they should cost. Now, the one thing that I get messages about on a regular basis is people messaging me, other authors, saying, I am not selling any books. What's going on? I'm just not selling any. And then when I go to have a look at what they're doing and what their books are costing, oh my gosh, it's like, no wonder. No wonder. I've seen paperbacks being sold for less money than ebooks, which is a bit weird. I've seen ebooks and paperbacks so highly priced that they're actually more expensive than the top sellers, which straight away puts people out of the market. And then sometimes their prices are just so weirdly done. They'll be like, I'm going to sell my ebook for $2.47. Why $2.47?
I don't know.
So I just want to chat about this because pricing our books can make such a massive impact on whether we actually sell them or not. Now, to you, Josephine, when you first started publishing your books, did you look at your competition and have a look to see what other dark fantasy
what other books were not necessarily dark fantasy? I've learned more now than then, and I did. They are slightly more now than when I first started publishing, because there's a difference in them now for me, and I've learned a lot more. But now I do look, I see what other people are selling for, and just generally do. It's like with everything, you've got to look behind the scenes. You've got to do your research, because if you don't, you're making, saying you can do something that you can't, because it pricing yourself out the market, or saying that you can do that, and then when you get to it, think, oh no, that's not what I wanted. That I can't do that, and it's just not. Yeah, you need to think about it and put some effort into it. Unfortunately, it's not just about the writing.
No, it's not. I have to say, when we first started writing the series, again, wrote it in the first book between 2012 and 2013, and it was really new then. I mean, self-publishing was kind of new. Starting, and we first self-published in 2014 after, we were looking into doing mainstream publishing and just your regular route. But we decided to go the self-publishing route, and it was different back then. Everybody's advice was, give your first book practically away. It's like we gave a lot of freebies away when we first launched. We did a 99 cents for a long time. I mean, and that was kind of the trend. That was what everybody was like, get them into the series kind of thing, price your book lower, get them into the series. It has changed completely since then. And for us, that we were going back and forth, we've gone back and forth a lot on pricing. We've tried all sorts of different pricing. And we wound up doing a 99 cent again for the ebook, because that's where we were selling the most during certain points of the year. And then it doesn't sell that way at other points of the year. So now what we do is we kind of do a holiday 99. We lower the price of all three books. We kind of do a holiday thing. And then we go back up to $2.99 for the first book and $3.99 for the next two books, which is slightly lower than I would say the average urban fantasy is now. I think the average urban fantasy is about $4.99 on average of what I've seen. I've looked into, because I specifically write urban fantasy, and so I have looked at what my fellow peers are doing and the tier above us are doing, and that's kind of seems to be a good spot. Well, but what works for us doesn't necessarily work for anybody else. So for what works for us, we like, we feel good at $2.99. We think that's a good price for a reader to take a chance on a book that they on people that they don't know, or take a chance on a new author that they haven't experienced before. And then hopefully we have a pretty solid read-through rate. So I think that has been a good model for us. But I do know now the trend is, I think the indie author community has gotten together and said, hey, we're giving away our books. It's like, and we're not making any money, it's like, and it's a lot of work. I mean, readers should understand it takes a long time to write a book. And I know there are some people who are very prolific and they write 15 books a year, which is not me. So my books are like 425 pages. They're not short. So I think that I think the indie author community over the course of a decade said, maybe we, need to value our work more and say, it's worth this. And I think the readers have come around to going, yeah, it is worth it. And it's not that, an ebook at $2.99 or $3.99 or even $4.99 is less than a Starbucks cup of coffee. So
the thing, isn't it? You're absolutely right, because we do need to value our work. And I think that goes back to the importance, and we've discussed this in previous shows, the importance as authors to share our journey. I think if our readers and our followers follow our journey when we write a new novel, they can actually see how long it takes and the process for doing it. You know, I'm sharing details about my outlining of my novel. I've just started my novel. I'm now on chapter 3 and it's going really, really well. I'm now on chapter 6 and
I'm on 38,000 words.
Yeah.
Exactly. But sharing that information just goes to show how long it takes us to do the whole process, you know, and then going through the edits and then, oh, I've sent it to my editor. I've got it back. I'm now trying to get my cover done. The whole process, I think, as authors, by sharing our journey as to what we're doing with our novels and what stages we're at, it gives them a better appreciation of how much effort and time and work, blood, sweat and tears goes into each book. So I think you're absolutely right. I think it's tough for us indie authors because we haven't got the advantage of traditional publishers, you know, because they do everything in massive bulk. Their printing costs are so much less than what we have to pay, you know. So they can all of a sudden do a whole month and cut one of their books it by half in price, and give it a massive boost. But we can't do that.
No,
we can't do that.
Yeah, for the paperbacks especially, it's like, you know, you have to cover. I mean, we're exclusive on Amazon, so you know, we're doing print on demand through them. So they, you know, after all the publishing costs and their percentage that they take, you know, we're kind of left with, you know, just a couple dollars to split between us, you know. So it's not, it's you know, it's you know, it's something we believe in, and it's a story that we love and that we want to share. So that's why we do it. And we just hope we get enough people to love it and share it and join us on the journey as we can. But yeah, I mean, you know, if you know, we don't have that luxury of, I can't, you know, even getting your author copies costs a lot of money.
And excuse me. And I've noticed that when you do try and reduce the cost of your paperbacks or hardbacks, Amazon will only let you lower it to a certain amount, and then they just won't physically do it. However, I do want to mention this because not all authors, especially new authors, know this, but it is super important to keep tabs of how much your books are showing, how much your books are up for on Amazon, because twice in the last year, Amazon has actually reduced the price of my second book, The Marillions.
They've done it with mine as well. One of mine. In fact, it might even still be on offer.
Yeah, they've done a massive discount on my second book. I don't get notified. I don't get told that they're doing it. Yeah, it's pure chance that I see that. But if you keep tabs on how much your books are selling for on Amazon, then you can, and they do a big price reduction. What a sales opportunity that is. I share that shit everywhere.
Yeah.
They've brought it down from $15.99 down to 11, I think it's $11.57. I'm sharing that everywhere.
Yeah.
I get the same amount of royalty, even if Amazon physically reduce the price of my book. I will get the same amount of royalty as it is full price. I don't get affected. So it's in my best interest.
I didn't know that.
My listing was on it last week. It might actually still be on it, my book club listing. And mine's obviously pounds, not dollars. And it was, I think it's $9.50 as a rule. And they took it down to 6 something.
Yeah.
There's a few odd pence. I didn't understand that, but yeah, there you
go. A sale like that is huge. It's such a great marketing opportunity and a way to grab new readers, you know, having such a big price drop. And as I said, you earn the same amount of money. So all authors should be regularly checking how much their books are going for on Amazon, because it can chop and change. I've just got some more comments, so I'm going to pop them up. So let's have a look. So Sarah Louisa, she says, Josephine is a fabulous teacher.
And the A+ content.
I love it. We've also got the wonderful Gina, who's
Hello.
says
Hello,
hello. Laura, she says, but that doesn't include the research prior to writing the end result. Agreed. As an author, we do so much research.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think I might get reported for my Google research. I think somebody's going to turn up and go, you've been researching very weird stuff.
Oh, I know I'm flagged on some lists.
I know, it's always a worry. It's always
my listen is still down. It's by now 67% less, so it's £3 and 2p. So that's on the UK site, but it says with Prime as well. I was, whether that's just with the Prime one or whether it's reduced all over, I don't know. I've not worked that one out yet. But yeah, it is. That's what mine's. I haven't set it at that. That's what they've set it at.
Yeah. But the thing is, because you've already set your price for that book,
yeah,
you will earn
the
original royalty. You don't get any money.
£9.99 they are normally.
Yeah.
And it's being sold for £3.2 on Prime.
That's fantastic. So, and it's such a great way to get new readers. We've also got the wonderful Mary. She said, "Hey, I just saw and remembered."
Well, she's made it.
She has made it. That's all that counts. That's all that counts. Just so everybody knows, if you want to be notified whether I'm going to go live or not for another show, just click on my page and click on to be notified. And then you should get notified when I've got any upcoming events or live shows coming up. Kim says, oh, yes, author copies cost a lot. They certainly do, unfortunately. Yep. It's one of those things, unfortunately. It really, really is. So it's worth, I'll tell you, it's worthwhile making sure when you edit your books to really be ruthless, because obviously the bigger your book, the more pages it's got, the more your printing costs and everything else is going to be. So it's worthwhile when you're editing to really be ruthless. It really, really is. Kerry says, yeah, mine too. I know it sucks, unfortunately. But the great thing is, on the plus side, and we do have to remember this, as indie authors now, we don't have to try and find thousands of dollars to buy a massive bulk load.
No.
Most of us can't afford to do that. We just can't. We just haven't got the money. So yes, we do pay a little bit extra for the, print on demand, but at least we can do it when we've got the money, which is a massive deal for us, because I know so many authors who self-published years and years ago, and they literally have got a whole garage full of books that they're stuck with because they've since had to update the covers, or they've updated the design dynamic, or they've updated the blurb on the back, and they still.
I've seen a lot of authors doing that and doing the old copies as a sale.
Yeah.
But
I've seen money.
No, and I've also seen some taking their old copy covers and doing, not just sales, but like giveaways and stuff like that. Yeah. It's the same book, it just has a different
I made
cover.
mine into the book folding pretty things. I don't know what they're called to craft in.
I don't know, but you're getting very good at it, Josephine.
I'm probably posting them now.
Mary says, I've heard that the reduced prices are books that are returned unused.
Not all the time. Some are.
That's what Amazon told me. So you already have the royalty for it once. No. That's interesting, because I don't.
It will say on your book, new or used, and if it's down, mine's down at £3.2.
Yeah.
That is not.
No, that's new.
Used that's new. Subsidiaries of Amazon that sell the used copies, and they are on there, but I can tell you that one's used, but
yeah, I kind of have mixed feelings about that.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what else I've noticed is the fact that some of these used copies actually cost more from these.
I've seen that. Why would you buy a used copy
than a brand new one?
Yeah.
And there's some. I know I've seen them on my page where it's like, okay, so now I'm having to compete against somebody else on Amazon for my book. It's just, I get it, because I mean, you go to a used bookstore and there are books and you buy a paperback or whatever, and it's virtually the same thing. But it's one thing, those people aren't competing against themselves when you go to an actual bookstore. You actually walk in the door. You're like, that's how I got into Kim Harrison. I was like, oh, I found her book on the dollar bookshelf and I got it for $1, and I fell in love with the series, with her Hollow series. And but then I bought all the other books on, the regular way. But it's like, she's not competing against herself there.
No.
I'm competing. All of a sudden now I'm competing against some virtual seller.
Well, what you've got to remember is it's actually a bonus, because nearly all booksellers now have an online platform.
Yeah, no, that's true.
If they are selling copies of your book, one, they've had to buy those books.
Yes.
So you've earned there. Two, you're now on their system online, which means it helps all the search engines. So you're a lot more likely.
True. That's a good way to look at it.
Well, the thing is, the more places, I mean, this is what I used to do back in the UK, was websites and search engine optimization and stuff like that. So the more places your name is and the more places your book is, that's going to help trigger algorithms on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, and wherever else you're selling, and it will rise you up in the listings. So when I see that somebody else is selling my books, whether they be brand new direct from Amazon or whether they be, secondhand ones or whatever, it doesn't matter. It still means that my name is getting logged and shown somewhere else.
But we aren't discussing the ones that the ebook sites are stealing.
Yeah,
they're not the same. So you don't get no confusion out there.
No, those are there's unfortunately it's not a lot you can do other than request.
I don't look.
A
Just
cease
don't
and
look.
desist. You can contact the sites and say, look, I've not given this site permission, cease and desist, or I will take legal action. And you can give them that warning and take it further if you want to. As not very well known authors, obviously none of us are top sellers. We're still trying to get our name out there. It's a tough situation because on one hand, you're still getting your name out there. Your work is still getting shared and it's out there to, give you some more exposure. On the other side, you're like, oh, okay, I'm losing money.
But they're getting paid for what they're stealing from you. So it is a different kettle of fish.
And it's, however, there are some publishers that don't, what's that expression? DRP. There's something you can click on Amazon where you can make sure that your material isn't copied and shared. But and I can't remember what it's DRM. I want to say it's DRM.
I've seen it. I've seen on Amazon where you have to click on it to allow people to share your book when they've bought an ebook, because it's either yes or no. But I don't know what it's called. But it does say that.
This is at the top. It's DRM rights or something. But I've noticed.
Yeah, it is. That's it.
That's it. So
yeah, it's DRM. I've seen it.
DRM
won't click on it because they want that level of sharing, whether it be legitimate or not, because it's still getting the word out.
It's supposed to be for family and friends of the person who's bought it or whatever, for them to say, oh, look at this, you can read this.
You can read it, yeah.
To allow them to share it, not for the other scam companies to come along and share it and copy it and put it on their pages.
Yeah, for sure.
Mary was right. Some of them do. I'm just looking mine. On the one we were discussing with the paperback, it's there at £3 but that is the discounted new book by Amazon.
Gotcha.
The other one is £1.20 for a used one, and it's with World of Books, which is another subsidiary of Amazon.
Yeah,
So
which is good because
they are out there. She's writing what she's saying. It's just they're not all that. Some of them are where they discount it.
I know, and it sucks. It really, really does. Let's have a look. Oh, okay. So Nick, Josephine's husband, says, Josephine, you kept that quiet.
Of course she did. Of course.
There's no help, is there?
no, it'll be saying later, you owe me, Josephine. You owe me.
No, see, I run my husband's a screenwriter. I run our business, so I take care of all that.
Oh yeah, he knows.
All right. No, he doesn't have a clue.
Nope.
Oh my god, I love it. I love it. Kim says, so it might be better to start my new chapters on the same page right after the previous one ends. Okay, now with regards to this, a lot of authors miss a very big opportunity when they're writing their books, in that they don't give any information about the next book coming.
Oh, yeah.
If there are any details, they don't give a description of what's going to happen next. They don't give any sample chapters. They don't give, any information as to when it's coming out, when it's going to be available or whatever. And that's such a big missed opportunities. Most of my favorite authors, Quinn Loftus, she's an indie author. I absolutely love her books. I devour them. They're so fun, easy to read, and they're just, and in fact, they're werewolf shifters as well.
Oh,
cool. Wolf shifters, actually. I say wolf, they're not werewolf, they're wolf shifters. But she always gets you hooked on the next book just as you finish the one you're reading. She'll tell you, oh, this book 2 is going to be due out, blah, blah, blah. And then she'll give you sample chapters. So I'm already like chomping at the bit, like I want it now.
I always do that with every one of mine, with my series especially. I'll put the prologue or a bit of the chapter in the back. With my standalones, I've been listing all my books and possibly maybe putting another standalone in, a little taste of, if I have one. But I always put something at the end. There's always something there.
Yeah, we have, especially between our first and second books, it really just jumps right into the next book. So we actually put the first chapter of the second book into the first book, so that you can read it and then go on to the second book. And then
it's so good.
Yeah, and we always in our novellas we list all the books in the series and everything, so that people know there's more, and you can,
and having details of where your next book is going to be up for sale as well. If you're only on Amazon, then have Amazon links for your next pre-order and update them. So if you've got, if you've already published 2 books and you've got book 3 coming out in September and you've already got it on pre-order, go back in and put that pre-order link in those first 2 books so people know. And if you are purely on Amazon, if you update your book in any way, 9 times out of 10, people will get a notification on their Kindle to say this book has been updated. So even if they haven't read it yet, you'll get that notification, oh, this book's been updated, and it will refresh their memory. Oh, I forgot I had that on my Kindle.
That's a good idea. I haven't thought about doing that. That's a good idea.
It's quite important as an Amazon user, updating your books, ebooks on a regular basis keeps your book fresh in their mind for their next read, and gives them a good old nudge, which is invaluable. It really, really is. If you are, for authors that have gone wide, like myself and Josephine, that you can't do that, unfortunately. If you've gone wide with your ebooks and you're on Barnes and Nobles and Waterstones and Smashwords, etc., you cannot have anybody else's sales links in your ebooks, because that book is going to multiple places. So you can't be promoting you can't be putting it in Barnes and Noble.
Promote Amazon on iBooks.
Exactly. And so you can't do it. But if you're Amazon exclusively, then you can add any links that you want, basically. Okay, let's have a look at some more questions and comments. And by the way, viewers, if you have got any input, if you've got any fantastic advice that you know, something you've discovered that you'd like to share that would help other authors, please share it in the comments, because we might not know. All three of us are still learning. You learn.
I just learned something just now.
As an author, we are constantly learning, developing, picking up new skills. So any advice for us to share would be fantastic. If you've got a question, we will try and answer it. And if we don't know, we don't know. But one of our other viewers might. So no, there's no silly questions. If you want to ask something, just pop it in the comments. Right, let's have a look. Okay, so Mary says, when I go to live shows, I check the paperback price Amazon has to sell below. It's always best. I say Amazon is so huge in the book marketing, book selling world. It is massive, even more so now since the pandemic, because people can go to Barnes and Nobles,
Right.
And Amazon make it so easy. They really do, because obviously, you know, they get it to you quite quickly and everything. So it is important to look at how Amazon and the other booksellers are handling your books, because you never know. You're not going to get notified otherwise if they're going to do sales and stuff. Okay, Lynn says, I've heard DRM doesn't even let the same buyer use it on their different devices. That's interesting. I don't know about that, Lynn. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. But I honestly don't know, because I do.
No, I don't.
I use Apple iBooks and I also use.
I use both, yeah.
But I've never tried to take one and put it onto the other.
Yeah.
Mine are on all my different ones, though. I will say I read on my tablet and I read on my phone, and both books are on both devices.
Yeah, with Apple. With Apple, sorry, with
But that's with
Kindle.
the Amazon app as well.
Yes,
Whatever I have on one shows up on the other.
Yeah, and it will keep up with your chapters as well.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
will say you want to go almost.
So I don't know whether that's. I can't remember whether mine's on or off, to be truthful, but
I think as long as you've got, as long as you're using the same Kindle account, you should be fine.
it's the same. Yeah, I always thought that, and the same with iBooks as well. It's the same details,
Yeah,
email and password, and that it should log you in
it should
on
be
whatever you are.
Yeah.
Well, I do. I do. Mine, I read on 2 different devices, and mine's always fine.
Yeah, I'm like that. As soon as one dies, I pick up another. I'm like my writing note.
Depends whether my eyes are sore or not, whether I can see the phone.
Google Documents, because I'm always running my batteries down on stuff. When I'm in the zone and I'm writing, I will literally kill my laptop. So I'm like, oh God, I've got to charge it. Okay, and then I can just pick up my Google Chrome, my Google Documents on my iPad or whatever, and just carry on. It's life.
I use my iPad all the time. I just kill it.
I can't write on my iPad.
I've never used. I do use a desktop. I also use a laptop, but majority of the work I do on my pad. It's mainly, I think, because it's portable.
Yeah, and I used to write a lot. When I was still picking up my youngest from school, I'd be sat in the car for like an hour, sat waiting with the other parents, waiting for her to come out, because otherwise you couldn't get parked. And I used to be sat there on my iPad typing away, carrying on.
Oh, yeah,
I take mine all over the house. Mine just walks with me wherever I am and go.
But I've got a keypad for mine. Mine's got a little keypad, like a Bluetooth.
I have the triangle cushion, and then I just sit at it.
Yeah, I couldn't do it otherwise. Okay, let's have a look. Laura says, I'm like that with your books, Beth. I want it now. She's like my #1 reading fan. Bless her.
And I know what one she's talking about.
She's talking about calling Clarissa.
I know.
Have a look. Okay. Right, we've got a Facebook user, hello, who says, I have to beg for new chapters from Josephine. That's got to be Lisa or somebody, hasn't it?
Yes, probably. She did actually on the group chat on Messenger. Can I have another chapter? So
bless.
it will.
Yeah, there we go.
It'll be.
Mary says, I love that idea of predicting the next book, but I sell as I write. My final series book has been stalled nearly 5 years. This is a pantser problem. Oh, we know the feeling, Mary. Of time, I have no idea when the next one is coming out.
I don't know. I don't.
I think
I've got that many on the go. My idea at the moment is one from a series, one standalone. One from a series, one standalone. Wow. But I've got 4 different series going. The last one was part of the Black Knight series, Destiny's Contempt. But I'm not going back to that one yet. I'm going to do one of my alien ones to listen. I've got number 5 of that one to do. I've got them on the go, but they're not finished. So after this one, this is a standalone, I will go and do a different one from a different series. I've got that much because I spent 18 months re-editing them all.
Oh, so right, yeah.
I've got to now try and conclude what I've already started. I like to give a bit of a choice.
I understand the pantser problem. I'm kind of a blend. I'm a blend of a pantser and a plotter, and so I'm kind of do a little bit of both. But because I'm working on the Werewolf Whisper that we're working to finish off that series, but I've been developing a new series of my own, and I've also got a couple other ones that I'm kind of one that I think I might try and put on Kindle Vella and explore that world. But I'm kind of trying to use dictation a little bit. I'm trying to get a little so I can.
Oh, I say too much. I go off subject. When I'm dictating to it, I go off subject.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, I'm still learning it. I'm not quite there. So I'm taking notes and sort of transcribing my notes, and it's I don't know that it's making any faster. I'm trying, but yeah, I get that issue very hard.
Because every time I try and do anything dictation, because it's American and I've got an English accent, I just get, well, that's not very nice. It does not understand. I can't even ring up and order takeout because they have no bloody clue. I pass it to one of my kids or my husband and go, here, you do it. Oh my gosh. Right, we've also got a fabulous Adam. Hello. Adam. Thank you for joining us, Adam. He's another budding author. Let's have a look. And we've got a Facebook user that says, Bonita, I love your videos. How is TikTok working for you?
It's been a really interesting year because I just came on my year anniversary on TikTok. I started last January, and it's been kind of fun because it takes me back to my television and film roots in a way. It's the short form video it's fun to create a story. I'm a storyteller as an actor, as a writer, as a filmmaker. I've done a short film, and I feel like it's sort of, but it's taken me a while to kind of get it. But now I think I'm sort of getting it. But it's been fun creating the stories, and like promoting the Werewolf Whisper, but taking images and making what was in my head when I wrote this. Now I get to put it out there because the Werewolf Whisper was actually originally created as a web series. So Camilla, my writing partner on the series, and I were both actors looking to create something for ourselves to do, and we had a friend of mine, Stephanie, the great Stephanie Thorpe, who's a great producer. She was going to produce it, but when we got down to brass tacks, it was going to cost way too much money, effects wise and stuff. It was like $50,000 a 3-minute episode. So wow. Yeah, that's not going to happen. So yeah, we didn't have that kind of budget. So we wound up. Well, Camilla came up with the idea of, well, what do you think about making it into because we had 13 episodes already written. and they were 3-minute episodes. And so that became the outline for the novel. And I'd never written a novel and never wanted to write a novel. It wasn't my calling, I thought. but I'd done screenwriting, and I kind of took the screenwriting stuff that I, experience that I had, and she had done a lot more prose writing, and so we kind of over the course of about a year just developed the story in the book, and using the web series as an actual outline for the actual series. Getting back to TikTok, so it brings me back to doing what I originally thought this thing was going to be, which was putting out visual story. And so yeah, it's been kind of fun. And then I also do a blog called Bonita's Geeky Blog Foo, and it's all about the 3 things I love, which is movies, books, and martial arts. And so I write about that on my blog, so I can actually kind of do what I do on TikTok and sort of blend the two, and it's been fun. It's been interesting. It's kind of a time sucker, not gonna lie.
Oh, bloody addictive. Once I get on bloody TikTok, I can't get off, because I love all the funny shit. I love the funny.
It's fun.
It is as well.
Well, honestly, I'll be sat there and I'll be next to my husband, and all of a sudden I'm literally crying with laughter. And he's like, "I'm on TikTok, aren't you?"
And the only reason why I got on it was because I was at a Barnes and Noble towards, what was it, 2021, the end of 2021. I finally stepped into a Barnes and Noble again, and I just saw the section of as seen on TikTok table, and I'm like, wait, what? And that's when I discovered the huge reading community. I was on TikTok, and I was like, well, you gotta go where the readers are,
And I've mentioned this often so many times now, but it's such a good example. You've got people like Colleen Hoover. You've got authors like Ruby Dixon. They've gone viral, on social media, especially TikTok. And Ruby Dixon, I hadn't even heard of her, but all of a sudden I go on TikTok and she's everywhere. And it's she's now, I mean, she's got quite a backlist, and she started publishing her books long time ago. It's completely uplifted her writing career. It's absolutely amazing. So,
but when people looked her up as well, the books were already there. She didn't just have the one. They devoured them all once they
get into it.
They have more choice.
Going just quickly, I want to touch on something, because if our authors who are watching the show have got a backlist, it is worthwhile doing a special promotion on your first books, especially if it's a series like book. If you've got book 1 of 3 or 4 or 5, do that book 1 on a special deal. It is so much worth it, because if you can hook them with a bargain book to get them on the series, and they get hooked on your series, they will then go on to book 2, book 3, book 4. So you will reap back what you lose by having that book 1 on special offer. Also, I just want to quickly mention, with Amazon, if you have your book priced at full price, so for example, you have an ebook at $4.99. If you have that ebook priced at $4.99 for, I think it's at least 3 months, and then drop it down to $2.99, Amazon will automatically, hopefully, promote your book as being on sale.
Yeah.
Your price drop, and you'll have a sale icon on it. And it's worthwhile doing, because
same with the pre-orders as well. They'll send out emails, and
exactly.
Sarah Louise's email last week. This is on pre-order. Yeah,
you have to be smart, because all of these websites that sell our books now, they work like search engines. So the more people who type in your name, and the more people that type in your name and purchase, are going to make your book go up their individual charts. So it does make a huge difference. Terza has got a comment for us. So I'm going to quickly pop that on, and then afterwards we will be quickly touching on categories. I know. It's so bloody quick. I hope to do 3 subjects. Look, we're going to be lucky if we do 1. Right, just quickly. So Teresa says, use a books to read link or something comparable, even if you just have Amazon. Interesting. It's easier for readers to remember to type up if they can't copy and paste the link, and it will direct you to your local Amazon, which is brilliant when you're not in the US. That is a really good tip. I'm in Germany and I have clicked a link away more than once on my phone because I couldn't be bothered to change the URL when I got the US store. It's really tedious and you might lose international readers that way.
Oh.
That is a very, very good idea. You can also use Linktree as well, just so everybody knows. You don't just have Linktree, for those of you who don't know, it's where you can literally list all your links for yourself. But you don't just have to do it as an author. You can have a free account with Linktree and have all your author page links, like your website, your Amazon author page, your Goodreads author page, etc., etc. But you could also have other free accounts for each of your books with the different Amazon links for each country. You can do whatever you want, and it's free. You don't have to pay for it. So all you need then, once you've spent the time uploading all your links for your one book or for you as an author, all you need to do then is just save that one Linktree link, and it will you just give that out, and then your readers can pick whichever one they want.
That's what I do. I have a Linktree. So
Me too.
So books to read, you can do it that way, or Linktree.
I have books to read as well.
I tell you, they're brilliant. They really, really are brilliant. Laura says keeping readers updated on delays and releases, etc., is a must. So she does definitely appreciate that. We've got Mansell. Hello, darling. He says nice information. You are so welcome. And Facebook user says it's me, Beth. That is no help whatsoever, my darling. We're still saying Facebook user. And I'm grateful that you're here. Okay, so Adam says, I joined late, so I have a beginner question that maybe is not today's topic. That's okay. But can we sell the same content for a book as a part of a series and a single book at the same time? There are so many confusing answers on their community page. I'm pretty sure that you can, as long as
I was going to say that.
you cannot sell a novel that's already published as Kindle Vella. That is a big no-no. I know that 100%.
no, you can't do that.
You can't do that. It's either got to be Kindle Vella, which is the series where you upload all the time, or sell it as a novel. However, you can pretty much have as many editions of your book as you like, pretty much. I think
some ladies will do an anthology, and it's a short story in the anthology, but it's part of a bigger story. So surely that's the same question.
That's kind of a thing too. It's like if you want somebody to learn your work and you join an anthology with other people in your genre, then you can use that as a launch for somebody's interest. Oh, well, maybe I like this person.
I want to know more about that character. I'll go read the book.
That character. Yeah.
Exactly. When you do an anthology, most of the time, if you get asked to do one, you can't republish your contribution until a year later, on average. But once you've come out of that specified and agreed time frame, you can republish as much as you want.
Yeah, you did part of an anthology.
Yeah.
And like on Kindle Vella, if you've already published something somewhere, you can't put that on there. But if you publish something on Kindle Vella, you can now make it into a novel on.
You can go the other way.
Yeah.
Not that I use Vella because it's not in the UK. It used to not be like, I guess
at the beginning you couldn't do that, but now they're allowing you to make that story into a novel on Amazon. Yeah, right? Yeah.
I did not know that. See, this is why we have the show. You learn something every day.
That's the only way I would do Kindle Vella, is if I could still make it into a book, because not everybody's on Kindle Vella, and
like when it first came out.
But it's only in US at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I think so.
interesting, because that's what put me off doing Kindle Vella when
It was same here. I wasn't
not doing that. If I can't do a book as well, then no.
Yeah, that was my problem too, and they were going to say no. Then you'd have to take it down and not. Then you lose your Kindle Vella people. It's like, how does this help anybody? It's like, so they changed that.
My books are a good example of being able to do different editions of your story, because I don't know any other author that's done what I've done, and that is create adult editions and young adult editions of the same story. So the main content of my story is exactly the same, but with the young adult edition, I have just not included the adult scenes, the adult language,
That's a cool idea.
Yeah, but the bones of the stories are exactly the same. It's the same story, but it's just tailored to the different market. So I don't think that would be a problem at all. Terza says Kindle Vella is not available in Germany either.
No, it's not.
I think
It's
it's
only
just
in the US, literally.
Yeah, that's a bit of a shame, really. I think they will broaden it, though. They probably just want to test how
I think I thought that. I was discussing it the other day, and I said it was probably just a
how
test.
successful it'll be. Gina says, I have several client authors who are doing that with Kindle Vella as well. So that is very, very interesting. Now we are literally got 5 minutes to go. So I'm literally going to touch on categories. We're going to have to do that next time. But what I want to do with everybody who's watching today, check out how many categories your book is on. It is so important. Most people don't even realize that you can have actually 10 categories on Amazon.
But Amazon do only show the top 3-ish or whatever.
The top 3.
Yeah.
You can select 2 when you're actually uploading your book. Amazon can and do add you to different categories if people are finding you that way. And sometimes Amazon actually create new categories specifically for one author. If their book is super successful, they will actually create a whole new genre for it. So categories are so important.
Probably why there are so many genres.
Oh, I know, exactly, right?
Categories.
But the main thing is, as an author, the more categories your book is in, the more likely you are to be found, the more likely you are to get sales. So think of it this way. You're in a library. You're in a physical library. But instead of having your book in one section, just science fiction, and that's it, they had other aisles as well for post-apocalyptic, dark fantasy. They had all these extra aisles that you could put your book in there where they can be found. And that's the way it works. Amazon is very much like a library when you think about it, because, you've got to have a good title. You've got to have the description and everything else. So having a category or having multiple categories to put your book in is so bloody important. Otherwise, it's like putting a book in a bookstore, but with no cover on. So we don't know who's written it, what it's about, and what genre it is. Mind blown.
People don't like to put themselves in any sort of niche, some of them, but you must do that for the reasons you've just said. Even if you're lightly touching on that or it's an umbrella term, you need to do your categories. You might not think you're fully in that category, but you must do it.
Well, my book is urban fantasy, but we do really well in post-apocalyptic science fiction because we are that too. So yeah.
But to have the ability to have 10 categories instead of just 2 is huge.
But they are different for every country as well, which is a pain in the backside.
They are. Now, I don't normally promote anything, but Publishers Rocket is such a good tool.
Yeah.
I bought mine a couple of years ago, in fact, three or 4 years ago when it first was around. And I think I paid around about $100, roundabout.
Yeah.
But you pay for it once. It's a lifetime.
It's a lifetime, yeah.
You never pay for it again. And I'm just going to quickly click on it. I hope you'll still be able to see me. Oh no, where's it gone? Oh shit. Hey, hey,
Oh,
no.
technology.
Go.
Where's it gone? Oh, there it is. Clicked on the wrong button. So when you get Publisher Rocket, you can do keyword search, competition analyzer, category search, keyword search, and there's also tutorials. It is such a good tool, especially if you know what your competition is, because you can look up your competition, other books, other authors, and see what categories they're in. See how many books you need to sell per day to be number one in that category. So it is huge. It's such a huge tool, and it's paid for itself time and time again. Not only for myself, but obviously if I'm coaching a client, I can look at what categories their books are in, because you wouldn't believe the amount of clients I have for coaching, and they don't know what categories they're in or how many. So me being able to search them up and look them up and find out is a massive tool, because I can say to them, okay, you're in these categories, but you could also be in these. And you would do better in these categories because you wouldn't have to sell as many books to get up the charts to get noticed. So it's huge, 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 huge. But we're going to have to call it a day because it's been an hour
Already?
already. My engineer's gone. My HVAC engineer is gone. And my nose is no longer cold. So I think by Jove, I think he's fixed it.
Let's hope so.
Right, so just to let everybody know, don't forget you have got the chance of winning one of 3 amazing paperbacks from Bonita. Fantastic. Only if you're in the US, because as lowly authors, we can't afford to be shipping paperbacks everywhere. It's a ridiculous amount of money. Plus the UK's on strike with post, etc., on a regular basis, so it doesn't work. And Bonita's also giving away 10 ebooks. So for your chance to win, all you have to do is share today's show. You can share it on any of the social media platforms that you have, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, wherever you want. Just make sure you tag Bonita so she can see your entry. And the more times you share, the more entries you get. So you got more chance of winning. I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, ladies, for a fantastic show. So next week, or next, when I can get a show in, when my house is empty and quiet. So I think we should go over a bit more with categories and hopefully tackle the A+ content on Amazon.
Yeah, because I don't know about it, because I have never used it.
You're in for a ride, my darling.
You have a look at my pages.
I've seen your pages. They're very nice.
Have a look at Destiny's Contempt. It's done in there.
Which is awesome. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. If we haven't been able to get your comments up or reply to you, don't worry. I will have a look throughout the day and try and reply to you. And if you would like to catch us again on the Witty Writer Show, follow us. Follow me on the Facebook, on my author page, on the Write Better Author Smarter page, or on my YouTube channel. Just follow us because Josephine shares, Bonita shares, and hopefully, if you click on the notification button, you will get notified as soon as we have something booked and organized. So thank you, everybody, and have a fantastic rest of your week.
Have a good
Bye.
one.